No big deal, just had to fight a giant ice monster. Before we get to today's video, I want to take a moment to talk about Patreon. That's right, we are on Patreon now, and we have a bunch of tiers with a bunch of great rewards. You can subscribe and get things like early access to all reactions, depending on your tier, depends on which reactions you get early access to. You can vote on polls exclusive to patrons that will help determine future reaction series and more. You will get to just have various choices in terms of like getting to choose future reactions I react to, getting to choose first impressions I check out, all kinds of different rewards, and possibly more coming in the future. We're still new at this. We're still figuring things out. It's a process. It's a process. But we have multiple tiers, so whatever you would be able to donate, if you're able and willing to donate, is appreciated. It helps me out, it helps the channel out, it helps us grow. It's going to help just, standardly. It's just something new to check out. Plus, if you like getting the reactions early, that's also a plus. But it is optional. If you're unable to do it, that's completely fine. All reactions will come to YouTube just a little bit later, a week later or so. So that all being said, thank you as always so much, and let's get on with today's video. And with that being said, hey everyone, welcome to Princess Gay. I'm your host Connie, and today we are here with my blind reaction to The Dragon Prince, Season 6, Episode 5. And last we left off, Callum and Rayla have basically been told they have to, fight a giant ice monster causing an eternal storm or some shit. While Claudia is continuing her redemption arc, Soren has returned back to Katalis and I guess is going to meet with his father. So I guess we're going to see how that all goes. But I don't really have much else to say, so I think we should just get into this and hope for the best. Let's check this out. Let's get this going. Hold up just a sec. Before you click that link down in the description below to get to today's video, I want to remind you of all the awesome content we have both on this channel and the Princess of Gaming channel. Let's check it out. Welcome to the Afterthoughts. We'll begin with spoilers in 3, 2, 1, now. So, yeah, it's kind of split up between two different parts. Though we did see that Ezrin got the invitation to the wedding and everything. Most of this episode was focused on Viren and Soren and their reuniting, but also, like, the complications of their connection, their relationship at this point. And then on the other side, Callum and Rayla defeating the beast by basically, soothing it. The entire thing of music soothes the savage beast, that entire old adage just being used again here because it's like, why not, I guess. It's such a classic trope, and it's not a bad one by any means. It's just, it's been done, like, because it's so old, it's been done so goddamn much to the point where it's like, I get it, but at the same time, it just feels a little redundant at this point. Maybe that's just me.
So Callum and Rayla aren't really accepting the fact that they're like the chosen ones or anything specifically, but they are utilizing their talents to do this. The initial goal was to, melt the frozen heart with with Rayla etching the rune into it and then Callum using the spell. And maybe that would have worked, but in the end, Rayla realized that it was a pet, and she realized exactly what it was, too. I don't remember the name, but it was the pet, the companion of the Archdragon. And when the Archdragon went missing, or just whatever happened, I don't remember if that was said. It probably was, and I'm just forgetting. Um, when that happened, though, the pet had been like in mourning. And so, especially on moonless nights, the pet would be roaming around causing these storms out of grief. And so Rayla, with her empathy and kindness, soothed the beast rather than, you know, going through with the mission to kill it. And it was the right move. It worked in every regard. And the elves were allowed to see the stars for the first time in most of their lives outside of the Elder. And one of them was even star touched because of it. But we had the little message that of something we already knew, something that's like been well established by this point and has been built up, that Callum has darkness in him. Because of his use of dark magic and his connection to Erebos, he's obviously basically being set down this path towards corruption, I think is probably the best idea of it. I don't know if Erebos is going to take him over completely, and I don't think it's going to be by Callum's choice. I don't think it's going to be like a full possession thing, but something's going to happen to where Callum is like lost to himself, and he becomes probably a temporary villain of sorts. So it's going to be interesting to see how that happens and what exactly occurs from it. The other part of this episode focused on, like I said, Soren almost wanting to reconnect with his father, but also not wanting to forgive him for obvious reasons. And although it's very clear that Viren is trying to reconnect with him and trying to apologize in his own way, Soren rightly isn't accepting it. And like I said at the end there, I hope that he never does. Because we need to showcase that some people are irredeemable. This is a lesson that I feel too many shows ignore. There's way too many shows out there that just ignore the idea of a villain being irredeemable and unforgivable. And one of the worst offenders of that in recent memory has been Steven Universe. With it redeeming like every villain it has, even the most horrifically like terrible ones. But at the same time, this is a series that is like much more mature in tone and vibe. And I feel like it would definitely be able to handle this kind of thing better. I mean, it's made by the same people who made Avatar, and it's very clear that Avatar and Korra have had some irredeemable villains. So, I think that we need to continue that into this series. And the thing is, Viren is regretful, he is sorry, but that doesn't make him redeemable. There is a difference. And I want to touch on that. A character being redeemable not only has to rely on them desiring to actively better themselves But it has to. It's also dependent on what they've done and like how big of an impact their actions and whatnot have had on others around them and on the world around them and etc. etc. And the amount that Viren has done, the amount that he has caused, the evils he has perpetuated, he is without question irredeemable. There is nothing he can do to change that. And Soren not forgiving him would hammer that point in. Like, I'm not saying Soren can't feel sad and wish that things had turned out better. No, I think he should. But I do not believe that Soren should ever forgive his father. I feel it would send, honestly, a bad message because people like this, who again have perpetuated this level of evil, should never be forgiven, should never be given that chance. I know it sounds harsh. I understand it sounds like really mean and like terrible. But there is a certain limit to the evil a person can do. And I believe that there is a limit to how far a person can go before you just can't forgive them anymore. And in real life, I would cite Nazis or rapists. I do not believe that they are worthy of being forgiven or even given the chance. And normally I stand for the idea that everyone deserves a chance to better themselves. But when it comes to Nazis or rapists, I have absolutely zero sympathy. I have zero interest. Because they're like the most evil a person can commit to being. And it's just like, it's to a point where I do not believe that they deserve not only just forgiveness, but really to live anymore. Again, it might sound harsh. It might sound like aggressive as fuck. It might sound terrible. But again, the amount of evil that people like that put into this world is irredeemable in my eyes. And so I believe that no matter how much regret Viren is feeling right now, he has already, the amount of evil he's perpetuated is too fucking much. Like, this is why, like, in previous volumes and even in this volume, I'm so against him. Why I've gotten so, like, pissed at him and would constantly, like, just not even be willing to hear it. just being, like, constantly upset at his existence because of the evils he's perpetuated. And he knows that he's done this. He knows that Claudia going down the path she had been is because of him. He absolutely understands all this. And that still doesn't make him redeemable, in my eyes. I do not think that someone like that should be forgiven. I believe, honestly, the correct choice here, again, as harsh as it sounds, as cruel as it might sound, I believe the correct decision here would be for him to be put to death. I believe it would be the morally and ethically correct decision to be made by Ezran and his court. And I feel like this series probably won't do it. I feel like this series probably will not actually do it. Because I'm worried that it's trying too hard to be too nice. it doesn't want to like step on toes, and that's an issue. Viren needs to die because his crimes are too much, and like permanently die. The evil he's perpetuated is too much. Him not dying would, like, it wouldn't like necessarily advocate or accept the things he's done. It wouldn't paint him as good by letting him live, but it would be basically saying that the stuff he's done is not evil enough to warrant death, which is just false and just a really bad, like, ethical and moral ideal to have. The stuff he's done, like, he should be dead. This isn't an agree to disagree position. He was that evil. Even if he's, again, regretful now, that doesn't change that. And so, I'm sorry, but I think that that would be the only correct way for his story to end in this series. And obviously with him being so sorry for himself and everything he's done, like, there's obviously the idea you have to think about the possibility of him maybe trying to sacrifice himself to help stop Erebos. But while that would be fine, I would be okay with that. One, it still wouldn't redeem him. I'm sorry, it just wouldn't. And two, it would it wouldn't be as deserved and satisfying as if he were executed. Because him taking himself out would be to die on his terms, which I don't believe he deserves. So, I don't think they're going to do it. I don't think they're going to have him executed, but that should be the choice that happens here. He should be executed. Him having his self-sacrifice moment might be what happens. I could see that. Or he might just end up being locked in the prison forever. But whatever the case, like, I just kind of hope it happens soon. I hate to say, because I'm just kind of sick of him at this point. So, as quickly as we can get him off screen for good, that's the preferable result here. But all of that being said, tell me in the comments below, what did you think of this episode of The Dragon Prince? And for now, I'm Connie, and I'm signing off. See y'all next time.